And today we live. We trading with Jesus. Before anything, let's bow our heads in prayer and allow the Lord to lead this trading session and this Bible study because we're gonna be reading our word as we trade. So bow your heads with me. Dear Holy Spirit, I just ask that you give me the words that are of you and not of myself. Allow me to understand your word in a way that only you can speak. Lord, I pray that you allow me to be disciplined on my trades, to trust my stop loss, to trust my entries, and to wait it out, to trail my stop loss at profit when it gets to a reasonable point, and to just trust my trades, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Because I'm asking him to help me trust my trades because I realized like yesterday I was getting perfect entries, but I was getting out too early just because I was trying to secure profits. But I realized if you truly trust your setup, you're gonna let it rock. It's not letting it rock forever. Like my junk goes up a band, I'm moving it to that band. But thank you Lord for the food. But what I realized is yesterday, what I was doing is I'd be up right at 4 or 500. I moved my stop loss so far up that it would kick me out at that level instead of letting it ride because I don't want to lose that money. But I realize that's focusing on the money. I gotta focus on the profit. If I know that I waited for this entry and I know this is a good entry, why am I rushing it? So yeah, let's see. Let's mark it up like this. I'm gonna show y'all my process of marking up charts every single day. So sorry, I want to be able to see it full session. We see from this one, and then we just. Alright, so we only gonna look up here for CRR swing highs are because you don't want to look at too much information. We'll close this. Alright, looking at this. Oh, I'm gonna take my supplements. I say my swing high right here because this buyer's pushing it up at this level. Expand it to like right there. And why I say that is because swing high buyers sitting here because you see buyers push it up there. Actually, I don't even know. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. I mean, sellers sitting here. Did you see it sold down here? Broke into it. Now it broke here. So, what do you see? That's we might have to drop down on time frame for our swing high. I say swing low is definitely down here though. You see, it was low, pushed up, broke into it, went down here, broke up, went down here, broke up, went down here, broke up. So this is definitely a good swing low. We'll mark this buyers sitting here. Is still respecting this 4-hour time frame. You want to mark our levels on a higher time frame, but since we don't really have a swing high that's showing up here, actually I feel like this could be marked as a swing high. It hit here, bounced, swing high. It even bounced up a little bit but got shot down. Alright, sitting here. I'm gonna say it here too because that's a swing high because buyers just sitting here. I ain't gonna lie because every time I hit here, it bounce. So we're gonna drop down for more evidence of where. So since we're on a lower time frame now, we can see swing highs. So now we see that there's a high level of sellers. That when you get here, there were sellers. You got here, there were sellers. I feel like for the most accurate one, I would say there was two. I feel like this was definitely a level of let's say this is, I'm not even gonna put swing low, we're just gonna put where buyers are sitting. Because that's the truth. Like so there's sellers sitting at this level. There was sellers sitting at this level, but once it breaks over here, this line has been broke. So and it shattered like broke. So I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at up here actually. Because they already got broke. If it already got broke, there's no point of noting it as an important reference. This was a level of support where sellers were sitting, but you see it broke that too. So now I'm looking at where did it start wicking again, and that's where I see right here. Swing, sellers sitting here, pushing price down. If price breaks this to the upside, bullish movement, bullish potential, 1 hour time frame. As you see, it jumped. It wasn't respecting any of these. So once it breaks it, we can see it's not supported. I mean, respecting it. Here it broke, but then what happened? It had an indication correction, shot up. You know, so buyers sitting here. So it broke under. We have So if we know there's sellers at this level, we can zoom in and see that the lowest has been like where there was some type of like not consolidation, but when there was some type of resistance, it was right here at this level. So we know there must be some type of buyers sitting here, because what happened? It sold into here, shot up. So there must be some buyers here sitting here pushing price up. So if broke under bullish potential, 1 hour. Bearish potential, I mean. And I want to note where are these levels, like as far as what I want to note, like this level is cool right down here, but it has to break so much to get down here. So what I want to mark up so I can see all potential moves is, okay, when it breaks out this box, where does it go? It goes up here. So I want to mark this. Because now I know if it breaks this, it could go here. You know, another sell zone. If it breaks here, it could go here. Because we see, if it breaks out here, where does it go? It goes test here. Now, if it breaks this buy box, where can we see it going to? Right here is where it starts getting fought. But like I said, that's a big drop. Of another level. And I know this doesn't look like a crazy amount, but for this is at 658. This is at 656. That's a $2 here. Let me actually take that down a little bit. This closer to this. You see it sold off this. But me, I want to find the most where it did it multiple times. This is where I'm seeing the most rejections. So to me, it's like, that's one thing. But truly here we see it goes up, gets shot down. Goes up, gets shot down. So this shows me this is a stronger level. Where sellers are sitting. So now that we marked our levels, we want to drop down and see how it's actually playing. So let me zoom in like this. So we see sellers. What's happening here? Sellers are still shooting the price down. Every time it gets there, it's getting shot down. Okay, come in here. Buyers actually. Now we can see this is becoming a buy zone. As far as sellers are buying off this because they broke it. But what did we see before? sell. Just because it breaks through doesn't mean, okay, it's never on. Watch the behavior of it. Broke. This just shows me they got enough momentum to break out of it. Okay. Buyers, once again, pushing price. Comes in here, pushes up. Comes in here, pushes up there. So we see two occurrences of that. And what should be noted is that when we drop down to these lower time frames, we should have more occurrences of it showing us these same patterns. Even out here, sellers are sitting here pushing price down. We see it was getting pushed down back here. Let me delete these. So we see sellers pushing the price down, pushing the price down. They actually fought it all the way down here. But look, they built liquidity, shot through here, shot up. So this shows me once it breaks out of this level here, let me see what that is on a 1 hour. That is a pretty huge move. Yeah, so when it breaks out of here, this box, since there's so many, this is heavy buyers here. So when the buyers push it up, it's going all the way up to here. So that's a huge move, but we see that that is shown that it works. So it breaks out of this bump, it could go all the way up in here. Actually do want to mark up here. I don't want to overwhelm myself, so we're just going to focus on these boxes right now. I just want to drop down to see more. So yeah, this is where you can kind of check how accurate your levels are. So we said that, where's my text? Why is it not showing me what up? You know what, that's good. Alright, let's just see how the market is playing it. What the trends is it showing us? So high, low, and makes a high. Here, let me do this, try to get better. It's low, high, low, high, low, high, low. I say that was a high, there wasn't really a low there. So we see a high, low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then a higher high. So this high broke all these highs. This shows me it might still be on an uptrend. So on the 4 hour, we're on an uptrend right now. Let's see how this shows on the other ones. Alright, so now this is 1 hour. You see a low, high, a lower low, a little equal high, lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low. So that showed me we were on a downtrend then. Then we see a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we still overall on a higher, on an uptrend with this current market. So to continue this, we need to see a higher low. So if it forms a low, we need to see it form a higher low to continue that trend. So that's why we're gonna keep this open, and we want to see, because this is still a strong line right now. Sellers are still here. So that's saying sellers are here now. It was selling off this, but now look, it's pushing up from here. So now we're gonna switch this to buyers. Buyers sitting here pushing price up. That's what I realized too. The market might show you different trends on these higher time frames. Notice how this is going up. That price, if it was still sellers here, we would see the price getting dropped. But since we see the price going up now, we can assume there's some buyers here pushing this price up. That's why wick down here. So if we see a break out of here, we could have bullish. But even here now, we see buyers here. The sellers are still pushing it here, because you see the highest that it's getting is right there. But if we see this breaks out, we're going to take a buy. We see it break out of this. Now, since there's buyers here, we know this is going to be bullish. I mean bearish. That's why you want to keep noting this. So this is bearish if it breaks this. Because now, what do we see? Let's look at the 1 hour. It's wicking down here. So if it just breaks, like right, and just pushes above, we know, okay, boom, I can ride it. And when it broke out of here before, we could target the highest bid. The highest bid is over here. So if I was to take a long, I would get in on this line, put my stop loss at this line. Because if it breaks there, it's bullish. And then I'm targeting 1500. You know. And notice, this is where it showed, the market has showed me it's been. Now if it breaks to the downside, you know, so that would be the high position, right? That would be the long we would take if it broke out of there, right? Jumping in on that. We jump in on that, right? I said alert if it breaks. Kind of notify me if it does that, but that's what we're waiting for. And then if it breaks out of this, you want to set alarm too. If it's exiting, because now we see this is a strong buy zone, because once again it's still getting fought up there. So if it breaks this, we know if it breaks this, it could go here, because that's where it's been before. So then I would take a short. I'll ride it from here. Let me put the stop loss. I'll put my stop loss at the bottom of this line. We're going to jump in as soon as it breaks out of this. Look, it's doing it. So, oh, I gotta use the bathroom. Alright, since it's now building momentum to the downside, we could assume drop down. We see the indication. Okay, 15. Where do I see possible entries? See it already start wicking there. What I'm looking for is a sell. Because look what the momentum's doing. It's trying to fill here. So we know, okay, boom. This is showing me I already wanted to test that. Look what the market is doing. I like drawing it out to kind of see, what do I need? I need a higher low based off this. Higher high, low. Higher high, low. Higher high. We want the low to, it needs to push right over here. So the market just showed us where it wants to go. If it breaks out of this box, we know it could go here. So we would put our stop loss this, and for it to pull back up, and then we're gonna jump in. And that jump moving fast. Okay. So we're not gonna try to chase that. I'm not gonna lie, because this was our indication. As soon as it broke out of the zone, you remember we were looking for these two zones. We knew there was a lot of buyers here. It breaks this, we're seeing buyers are still here. So now, since it's already made its move, it already showed me where it wants to go. I'm not gonna try and jump in and ride it when it's already showing me where it wants to go. So what I'm gonna do is let this candle keep building, you know. But I'm gonna drop down because now it's showing me on the 1 hour, okay, it broke this level. Now it's playing this level. So now I could drop down to the 15 and see, okay, how is this holding? Even on the 15, let's see what the market is doing. Because the trend of the market, that should be consistent with the higher time frame. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher high. Now we need this to form a higher low, which is currently doing. So that's what we want to see. Notice this is showing it has bullish potential. I mean bearish. See how it's testing. It's still respecting this line. So if it breaks out of this line, we know, okay, boom, it breaks out. Where was the last time it was low? It could go all the way down here. You want to note that. Okay, it breaks out of here. Sell. Because when it broke out of here, where did it go? It went down here. So that shows me if it breaks out of this box, I could ride it from here. Put this at the box. This right here. I could ride it to that 1500. Boom. So 1 hour, 4 hours still filling. Like I said, what it is doing is filling our pattern. Low, high, low, high. Now we need a higher low. If it's going to keep this pattern, if it's breaking this pattern, it's going to go down here. Realize that we don't know where the market is going to go right now because of how it's moving. So that's why we don't try to assume. But we know if it breaks this level, it has potential to go down here. Oh, and look. Drop down. Trying to get the best possible entry I can. Okay. Where has it been when it broke out of here? It broke all the way down here. This is a level of support we can target right here. Okay. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Oh wow. Well, that just broke everything that it showed. It is what it is, you know. Not gonna lose confidence in my trades because now we know, okay, on a higher time frame, there's a level of support. That there's some high buyers right here. Buyers sitting here. Shooting price up 1 hour time frame. But this is the thing about, like, even when you lose trades, do not lose confidence. Like, I'm not losing confidence in my skill and in my ability because I lost that trade. It's like, okay, cool, lost, but it's realizing, like, I'm gonna trust my setup. You know what I'm saying? It just wicked that much up. This shows me, okay, that buyers are still sitting here pushing it. But if it breaks this, now I know this is a strong support line where buyers are shooting. So if it breaks this, it's going down here. So don't lose confidence in your trading ability just because you lose once, you know? And that's something I've learned, is just to still be confident in your trades even if it loses. Because you're not going to win every trade. But look, now we have so much more info. It shows me, okay, it was showing me if it breaks up here, it could go here. If it breaks down here, it could go here. So now I see the two real support lines are here. So now what I'm going to do is delete these 1 hour ones because it's not really respecting it anymore. So boom, boom. And now what I'm going to do is mark the 4 hour ones because it's respecting this. So here we see buyers sitting here and pushing price up. There were sellers here pushing price down before on a 1 hour, but it's not even getting there. So we are focused on this. Notice the consolidation here. It shows me there has to be some type of buyers here. But you're not gonna mark it as a box. Let's see what it's doing now. What is the market telling us it wants to do? Down, high, down, down, high. So what we see is a higher high was formed. A higher low was also. So we have a higher low, we have a high. See, this could be a low and then shoot from there. Let's see what it's doing on the 4 hour. Low. High. Low. Bro. Why is it not drawing my pattern? High. Low. High. Low. High. So now, what are we looking for? A higher low for continuing up trend. If we drop down, you see it's still following that pattern. So that's what we're looking for. We still need, before it can go up more, we need a higher low. So we're watching that. I don't like having too many drawings. Right now we have sellers pushing price down here. We have buyers pushing price up here. Breaks down here, we can have a bullish move if it breaks up. Let me mark this line right down here. I have sellers pushing price down. Now I want to mark where it's been. This line, we'll make it like black or something. Make it a little bit stability. thicker. So what do we see? When it broke out of this box, it went here. Once again, it's showing me this where it wants to go. So this is where we drop down. Okay, boom. Notice what it's doing. What is it forming? It's forming this. So what we know is it's trying to go on the bearish. So it made that move. Okay. Let's see. Is it gonna hold though? So what I see is when it's broke this, it went to this. So we're gonna go to the 1 hour. We're gonna see the low. But this is why I want to draw it out. Because you don't just want to jump in. Low, high, low, high, higher, low. This shows me that it might be trying to form, if it's going to stay on the uptrend, it's going to stay here and then go. If it goes under though, we're going to see it break all the way down here. That's why for this one, I don't want to really jump in on it because I don't know where the market wants to go right now. Because it already broke my line that of support. If it breaks this long, where it was low previously, the last time, let's see, where was the last low? Last low volume value was right here. I'll make these a little thicker. So I broke this line. It could go to here. But that's what I'm saying. We don't have no evidence of it moving down here. Because we don't know if it's still, this candle is seeing if it's going to be on an uptrend or a downtrend. So it could fill here, but at the same time we don't know. So this is where it's better just to watch what the market does instead of just trying to jump in. Because I knew if it broke here, it could go here because it's where it would have been. But since we already missed the move, it's not chasing the money and trying to be like, oh, well, it's still going to go on a downtrend because if it reverses, now you're out of money. It shows me right here. This is still buy zone right here. Actually, instead of marking with lines, I'm gonna use this line. I'm gonna say this is the buyer sitting here. Buyers here. Pushing price up. Now we can see that buyers are here pushing the price up. Now I broke this. But this is what I'm saying. We're waiting because if it breaks this low, we see, okay, now it might be on a downtrend. Because what happened when it broke this value last time? It'll go here. So that's what we're waiting for. But you notice how it's getting fought up there. It doesn't have enough momentum to make that move. So this is where you gotta be disciplined because all we know on our 4 hour time frame is that buyers are sitting down here. So if it breaks out of this value, which is the next current low, we can assume that it's going to go here. I'm going to wait, see what this 1 hour does before doing anything. Because if it holds under here, we can see it drop all the way down here. If it stays above here, we can see that it's showing me potential. Because you see how this wick is showing me that it tested down here. It didn't have enough liquidity to keep going. Low. Bro, why does it keep doing that? Low, high, low, high, low, high, higher, high, all the way to another higher. Now, with this wig, it seems like it's forming a low right here and then trying to go. See how the pattern shows on the 1 hour. Once again, we see low, higher, high, lower, high. Actually, the high was right here on this. Higher, high. Lower, high, lower, low. And then we have a value. It'll come all the way pull down here. So it makes a lower high, a lower low, and then a higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You see how it could go? Because look at this. It goes boom, 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 boom. So it wouldn't. That's still a lower high. A lower low, and then it could go here. So that's what I'm saying. When it's wicking, it's showing you something that this is where it might not want to break. And notice how it's getting close to closing above here. So now I can look and be like, okay, that looks a little crazy right now, but let me drop down, go to the 4 hour, boom, 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 boom. This is the lowest it goes. It once again can shoot. So that's why I think it's worth waiting for this higher time frame to see. But while you do that, let's open up this word. Get off the charts. We're honestly waiting for it to do a move for the 6 minutes. Let's just get in the word, keep us grounded in the Lord. It says at verse 13. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years, and the Lord said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines, and all the Jeshurun, from Sion, which is before Egypt, even unto the borders of Ekron, northward, which is counted to the Canaanite, 5 lords of the Philistines, the Jebusites, the Ashdodites, the Ashkelonites, the Gideonites, the Ekronites, also the Everites. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites, and Merah, that is beside the Sidonites, unto Ephraim, to the borders of the Amorites, and the land of the Gibeonites, and all Lebanon, towards the sun rising from Bilgah unto Mount Hermon, unto the entering Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon into Mesera, and all the Sidonians that will I drive out before the children of Israel, only divided by lot to the Israelites for inheritance, as I commanded thee. So God is recognizing that Joshua's time is limited. Like, John, it's about that time, my boy. You know? And what I realized is it's not a sad thing for him to be about to pass away because he's getting to be present with the Lord. But it's God acknowledging that. So he's like, hey, I don't want you to still give these lands to these people like I told you I was going to do. And I'm using you for that. And it says, of whom the Reubenites, and the Gadites have received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond Jordan eastward, even as Moses the servant of the Lord gave them. From Aaron that is upon the brink of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, all the plain of Medeba and unto Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon, unto the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, the border of Jeshurite and Mashites, all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan unto Sakah, all the kingdoms of Og, Og and Bashan, which reigned in Azroth and Edorei, who remained of the remnant of the Canaanites. For these did Moses smite and cast them out. Nevertheless, the children of Israel expelled not the Jeshurite, nor the Meshurites, nor the Jeshurites or the Mezrite dwelt among the Israelites until this day. Only unto the tribes of Levi he gave none inheritance, sacrifices of the Lord of God made by fire of their hands. Something I realize is that God teaches us about not settling. We see that God told the Israelite people to smite these people that were from these enemies because they would pull them away from God. And their compromise was still allowing these people to dwell with them. And in this moment, it might not seem like it was much. But what I prayed, like, and how this applies, I feel like this applies to me today, is I prayed for the Lord to help me hold entries, like, and truly have faith that, okay, if this is a trade I'm getting into, I'm gonna trust my trade. And I realized even though I lost money taking the trade earlier, I trusted it as far as I let it go to my stop loss. I got stop lossed out. But it's like that same time I looked at the market and that's what I thought I was gonna do. And I didn't gamble and be like, oh, boom. But it's like that shows me how much my faith's grown because even though I lost money, I know that if this is like if this moves how I think it will, right? So I'm waiting for this candle to close, right? I know that even though I lost money, right, initially, that doesn't define me as a trader. That doesn't define my ability. So if I read the chart and I see this forms a lower high, I know it's trying to get to an uptrend. So when it breaks this line, I can ride it up here to that next mark, make that money back, and keep going from there. It's not revenge trading. It's strategically reading the market. What is the market telling me it wants to do? And that's why I'm looking at the higher time frames because I'm realizing that the lower low was right here. So if this forms here, it's still continuing that pattern. So just looking at it. Low, high, low, high. Right? Here, I'll just do it like this. So it went low, high. It went low, and then it went high. So to continue this pattern, notice higher high. I'll say that was a lower high. And then it makes this lower low, right? Then it shoots up to make a higher high. This shows me that the market might be trying to switch the structure. And notice how this keeps wicking. This shows me that it might be trying to build up. Because notice we already noted buyers are sitting here. That's why it's wicking. So the fact that it's pushing up could be like, okay, it's keeping that. But if it breaks, we can see that it's going to continue that downward pattern. And if we jump to the 1 hour, because the 1 hour is going to show us more, a little more evidence, what do we see? We see low, high, low, high. Notice this is an equal high. Then it forms a low, lower low. Then it forms this lower high. Then it forms a lower low. Then it shoots up to here. But it can't just go straight up. So then what does it do? Low, higher high. Now we're on a higher high. Lower high. Higher high. Then it's a pullback. Boom. Lower high again. Then what happens? It makes a lower high. Makes a higher low. So just because we see a lower high here doesn't mean it's there. But look. Higher low. Boom. Higher high. But then look. It hits this volume and now it's going down. So what does this show me? That this level, it might be trying to switch. Because look, it was a higher high, right? But then this was a higher high. Notice how this is going down now. But where it has to break now for me to be like, okay, this is something that could actually make a move, is it has to break this. Here, let me. It's not playing trust in these lines anymore. I'm going to make a new line here because what do I see in this box? I see that it's getting fought heavy. Here, I messed up my box. Let me do it like this. So from here, I see it's that right here is where we're seeing a lot of fighting. You know what this shows me? There has to be some type of buyer sitting here pushing price up. Because if it wasn't buyers pushing price up here, it would already kept going down. But since it's buyers sitting here pushing price up, we can assume the price was getting shot up here. Now this is now, there's no more buyers here, as we can see. So 4-hour time frame. And what do we see now? When it breaks through this box, it's going down. So we know, okay, there's no longer buyers here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where buyers were. But we haven't got back up there to see if the buyers are still there. So now, what do we know? We know that this box is where it's respecting. So if we see it just randomly break out of this box, where does that mean? If it breaks out of this box, that means I could take a short position. I can put my stop loss at this box, right? And I can ride it, let's say, boom, and I can ride it to this, because where did that shows me this is the first TP that I want to get to, because what happened when it broke out of here? Where did it go? Here. As far as this is the next low on the 4-hour, this is the next low. We drop down to the 1-hour, we might even have another low. Okay, this is the lowest it got, so now I could be like, okay, boom, this is where I know it's been. So that's what we're waiting for. We're not trying to jump in and just risk it like, oh, it's since it's going here. What I realize is this is showing me something. Like this is really showing me, okay, it went up here. We don't even care about back here no more, because this is old news. It went up, down, higher high, right? Higher low. Higher high, higher low. Lower high, higher low, right? Which shows us, okay, we could still be going bullish. I mean, but look, when we get this high, right? Ignore like this box is kind of selling me right now. Like move that. But you see it made this high. What is it doing now? Now it's going down. So where is this forming? It might be forming that low. It's showing me it's still bullish, because this was a higher low, made that higher high, but now we got to see, is it going to form? Is it going to form a lower low, or is it going to keep pushing down? If it keeps pushing down, this is a perfect entry, because where do we know it's going? When it broke out of this box, as far as we see, this is like uncharted territory right here, because this is untraded. So what I see is if it breaks out here, this is the next low to target. So that's why we are just waiting. This is why we aren't taking a trade right now, because I don't know where the market's going. I want it to fill this, because if it breaks out of this, I know, okay, once it breaks out, I can target my entry and ride it to this downside. But until it does that, I don't know where it's going, because it could easily form a low here in reverse. So that's what we're waiting for. And I gotta use the bathroom, y'all. I apologize. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Give me a second. Ooh. Alright, I'm back, y'all. Yeah, this is what we're seeing. We are looking to see how is this playing. So like I said, we don't care about what this did over here. We are just looking at here. So it's been on, went to this low, went high. Then look what happens. It pulls down because this is still going on a down. Tested up, but it still went down. So it kept making this move to this downside. So we can see here, made this move to the downside. Now what do we have? Higher high, lower high, high, lower low. Low, lower high, lower low. So this shows me it's downtrend. Then it makes a higher high. But now what are we seeing? It could be trying to make a lower low right here and bounce, which is starting to show, and go to the upside. But this is why I also want to look and see what do we mark over here on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we know buyers were sitting here. It's just where it kept consolidating. So what does that show me? If it breaks up here, we could push more to the upside. If it breaks, so let's just even see. We see buyers pushed it up. But that's why we gotta watch 1 hour. Because I'm not convinced it's going bearish. Bullish. That's why I'm gonna let the market show me. If it breaks this line, we have bullish potential to ride it. This is a strong buyer zone. As we see, like it getting fought up. It got fought up here. Yeah, that's a strong buyer zone. But if it gets rejected, we know even on a 1 hour, let's see, 1 hour time frame, we see this is a level where there's some sellers. Because notice it comes up, shoots down, comes up, it finally breaks here. But we can see from here, it came up to this level, enter into this box, try to go up, ended up selling down. So this is where our even first move came off of. So we know on a 1 hour, there's some sellers here, pushing price down. And we know this from the 1 hour time frame. So right now we're not trying to play a guessing game and try to jump in when we don't know what the market is doing. We are waiting for it to tell us. If it breaks this line, this is where we want to jump in and ride it to this downside. And why are we targeting this? Because on a 1 hour, you see this is the lowest it was. It was a low point here. This is the lowest. So once we get here, we would lock in profits. Once we start going down here and see it start building down there, that's where we're securing profits. On the 4 hour, we see came all the way down here. See. My line. Notice how this could be a liquidity sweep too, because notice that to continue the uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. I mean higher low, higher high. Notice how this could be it and then it could go there. So those are things like we want to note. It's just that just because it's currently bullish does not mean that it can't make a move to the upside. And that's what this is showing us. It tested these lows and now it's trying to go up. And we already know buyers are sitting here. And we know sellers are pushing high. So now for it to go on an uptrend, it needs to break this line. So if it breaks out of this line, right? I mean, it breaks out of this one. We see, boom. So we're not trying to rush it. We just reading it. But notice, this is where buyers are already sitting, trying to push price up. And it broke it before. So this shows me that this is all it was doing. It wasn't actually a move to the downside. What it was is this. Boom, 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 boom. Notice, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low. What does this show me? This is trying to boom. Let's go. Like it's trying to go from there. Go to drop even down. Notice how that's still showing that uptrend pattern. So just because you see one move to the bearish side does not mean that's what the market's trying to do. The market's still showing an upside trend. So this isn't really showing me, okay, this is where I expected to really make a strong push to the upside to get to this box, is once it breaks this. Because this is where buyers are sitting. Because you remember buyers are sitting here pushing price up. And we noticed that from here. It was consolidating there. But like I said, we don't even really need to see this right now. We know sellers are here pushing price down, sellers are here. This is where we initially took it and it got pushed down. So now we just watch what the market does. And I'm not gonna lie, that should have been a no trade zone where I lost on this candle. I should have not been trading because it's in between these two. Don't really have no confirmation on the 1 hour what it's gonna do, or the 4 hour where it's gonna do between these things. So I shouldn't have even jumped in there. But you live and you learn. That's why you don't soak on your losses. Like, it is what it is. You lost money, okay. The same way you lost money, you can gain money. But just, where am I looking for my entries? Where am I pushing, trying to see? I see prices getting shot down here because what happens? Right here, it breaks into this box, pushes down. But then look, it also comes here and pushes up. So it's like, that's where I don't even consider this necessarily like accurate. I don't really look at it. Oh, 4 hour. I feel like 4 hour. We just watching these two. I ain't gonna lie right now. This is where I know. Okay. Once again, we know if it breaks this box though, we have a downtrend. So we're just waiting. Notice this wick, it went up. Showed you. Okay, I tried to go up, but something pushed it here. So this is where we want to note something. Okay. When it broke out this box, it went up here. So this shows me there must be buyers pushing price down. Actually, hold on. Make sure I'm on the right line. Buyers. I said buyers, sellers. Jeez. Because if there wasn't sellers pushing there, it would have kept going. But notice we still, just even looking here, comes up, boom, pulls back, boom, forms this new high, low. Notice still on an uptrend to the upside. So this shows me, okay, it's still trying to go up. Now it's looking to break here. So if it does break here, I know last time it broke, put that right there. Where'd it go? It went to this high. So that's something we could target. Is we're looking at the high for the 1 hour, which is here. And since if this is a low, we can assume it's at least going to hit here. I'll just show y'all the possible entries once we break certain levels. So for sells, we're looking for it to break this box. For buys, we're looking for it to break this line, because it's still in an uptrend on these higher time frames. So even if it pulls back, we're not going to assume that now it's bearish, because what is it showing me? All signs are showing me still in an uptrend. It's even on the 4 hour. It's still showing me a nice uptrend. Hey man, how you doing, Deshanjit? How you doing, man? So that's what we're looking for it to do. I think it's important to know what the market is doing on these higher time frames, because when you drop down, you see, okay, it's still following this pattern. It's still making higher highs. Boom. Like, so now you don't rush it. You just wait patiently. Let the market show you where it wants to move. I realize so many times we're impatient and we just try to rush setups. But it's like right now, I'm looking for it to break here and then go up to here. Because if it breaks this line, I can assume, okay, it's probably going to go. I'm good, brother. Drum from another mother. Appreciate you, bro. I'm glad you're doing good. Why will this joint not let me move? I don't know why it's not doing it. But as you see, it's getting fought because it's trying to see where it wants to go. So this is why we have to be patient and wait. Because if you jump in right now, I'm doing XAUUSD. That's a good one. Let's see what that's doing. This isn't really moving right now. Let me see. I don't know. Is this XAE? I don't know. I'm using a prop firm, so I don't really know the XAUD on this prop firm, but I know that NASDAQ works, so I'll just trade NASDAQ. Oh. Oh. Well, but let's get back to reading God's word because the market is not doing anything we want it to right now, so we're not worried about it. And it says, and Moses gave inheritance unto the tribe of. Can you tell how I can start streaming on YouTube? I do trading for years in global. How can I start streaming on YouTube? I'm doing trading them 6 years in global. Okay, which prop are you using? I'm using my funded futures. That is the prop firm I'm using. And on YouTube, I would just say get started. Like I use Streamlabs to stream off, so I just stream off Streamlabs, show my screen. That's all I'm doing. Nothing too advanced. So what I use is Streamlabs personally right now. And I just stream my screen. I'm on TradingView. Nothing too crazy. TradingView streaming it, showing you, you know. Yeah. But continuing on, it says, tribe of Gad, even unto the children of Gad, according to their families, and their coast was Jazer, and all the cities of Gilead, half of the children of Ammon. Any suggestion for a beginner? Just getting started. I feel like a lot of people overthink what they should do, and they never even get started. It's like half the battle is just getting started. I feel like once you get started, you can grow from there. But if you never even seek to start because of fear, it's like you're holding yourself back from what could have been. Because if you let fear stop you from going into what you like want to do, you're never gonna step into it. You know. So I noticed it was getting shot down here. So now I can put this at this line. I can be like, okay, boom. So drop down because it finally broke under my level. What I'm gonna do is I trust this level be look it formed a lower. This is what we were looking for. Higher high, higher low, higher high, still higher. This is a lower low, but now we see boom, it's trying to go to that upside. Thanks, man. Of course, bro. I feel like a lot of people overthink streaming and just like getting started. Like you'd be surprised that just getting started changes your life, bro. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it at this because we know if it goes back there, it's going back. I'm gonna trust my trade. Like I said, put my buy limit a little lower, and then we're gonna let it rock. Let's get a better entry, and then put my take profit up here. the highest one on 1 hour? Profit down there. Move this right here. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I lost earlier today, but I'm not to the point where I'm like, dang, I don't know nothing I'm doing. Even this going back, I know when they broke this line, this was such a strong line that it was pushing. So what I'm doing is I'm trusting my trading pattern. Notice how I'm marked. It needed to form a lower low to go up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trust my stop loss. It's like it might pull back a little bit, but I truly believe that it's on the uptrend because what did I see? I seen this lower low form, and it's still on a general uptrend. So just because it goes down, as long as it doesn't break this level, it's not reversing fully. So what I realize is you got to get out the mindset, if I lose, I don't know what I'm doing. I have to trust. I have to have faith. And I realize this is where God has taught me is that just because you lose money, just because something doesn't go your way, you got to have faith that you know what you're doing. If you lose confidence in your trading ability and your skill just off one trade, you're never going to win. Because you're always going to have a fear of losing. You're going to be like, dang, I don't know what I'm doing. But what I realize is this is where true faith comes in, bro. Because look, on a higher time frame, what? It's green. It's filling up. Okay? What is it doing up? Like, that's why I'm trusting it. Like, if it doesn't stop loss me out, I'm going to let it rock. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is where it truly is hard to be like, okay, I'm going to trust. Like, if it stop losses me out, cool. But I'm trusting and having faith that this is the trade that I'm supposed to make because I've been watching the chart. I waited for the low. I drew it out. So it's like even now, right now, that it's going up and down, I'm not tripping. And it's like even if it does lose, I'm trusting this trade because I don't wait it. I check the charts. I mark my charts like, and it's like this is why I scale down too. Like this is why I jumped in. Notice on the 1 hour, what am I seeing? Here I go on the 4 hours first. What did I see? I seen it went down, up, down, up, made this lower low, shot up. Now I made this lower low down here, and now it's trying to go up. So this shows me it's trying to get to this line. So even though I'm down right now, right? I'm down 200, whatever. I'm not tripping because at the end of the day, I have confirmation from even this is showing me it's still on an uptrend. So just because it's down money does not mean that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I lost. Oh, panic, bro. No, trust your trades, bro. And this is where it's easy to be like, dang, bro, Reggie, you're losing money. You gotta get out, bro. This is where you gotta trust, bro. I was down 300 at a point, but now we see it climbing. So it's just like knowing, okay, boom, watch it work. Now it's up. And just let it build, bro. Trust your process. Okay. I watched Top Step Concept. They collab their friends screenshot and sharing trades on live market. I would love to do this, but after you find I have some knowledge, then we can share like Top Steps. I don't trade on Top Step at all. I trade on futures. I don't know if that's the same. I don't really know how that works. I'm gonna be honest. But for me personally, I like trading by myself because I can be in my head because as far as I can talk to the Lord about it. Something I prayed before this stream was that God gave me the strength to trust my stop loss, to trust like my process. And it's like earlier when I started this stream, I lost money, but now I'm watching my trade because I waited for what I needed to see. I said if it breaks this line, I know it's on an uptrend. It broke this line. Now I'm waiting. Even though I started losing money initially, I'm trusting that this is the process, that this is where it's making this move. I'm not panicking. I'm not rushing into it and being like, dang, I don't know what I'm talking about. No. If you know what you're looking for, if you have faith that this is where it's supposed to go, trust it, bro. Because I realize like when you have too many people in your ear, you start worrying, you start fearing, you start doubting. But I realize that God did not give us the spirit of fear, but power and love and a sound mind. It says that in Timothy. And it's like I started writing down on my heart and it changed the way I experienced trading. Because I realized trading, a lot of people have fear of trading not going well or this not going. It's like, bro, I'm done letting fear change my decisions and anything like that. Like even reading this conquest, what we see is that God does not teach them to have fear of the obstacles around them. He says, have faith in me. And I realized if I truly trust God, and I prayed before this stream started, Lord, allow me to trust my stop loss, I'm going to trust it. Bro, why Jesus on your live stream? Because I'm trading with Jesus. Like, you don't have to keep spamming it. I said it. Because I'm trading with Jesus. That's why I'm level headed enough to trust my stop losses, to have faith. Because without the Lord, bro, I would have got out. Like, I'm going to be honest, bro. It's so easy to, when you see your stuff start going the opposite way, to be like, bro, I got to get out. I got to panic. But at the end of the day, I have faith that, okay, what was it doing? This is it building up. And that is just buyers and sellers trying to push you out. But you got to trust your stop losses. So even when it goes up and down, I'm not worrying about it. I'm trusting it. This is why I trade with Jesus. Jesus isn't in the thumbnail for like clicks and views. It's like, no, truly, he keeps me grounded. Because without Jesus, I would not have this platform. Without Jesus, I would not be confident trading. I would have been quit, bro. It's been many times where I worried and I feared and I doubted, bro. It's like even now, that natural fear in my heart where I see it dropping now, it's like, dang, am I about to lose? But I'm not worried because at the end of the day, I know I did my analysis. And what did I look for? I waited. I was patient. And it's like, okay, boom. It went down, it shot up. It went down, made a higher low, higher high. Then it made a lower low. And then what is it trying to do? Make that higher high. So that's why I'm like, it's at least going to go here. So when it goes up, okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to drag my stop loss. But that's where it takes faith, bro. Like, trust. If you have a system, stick to your system. Don't let anyone get you out of your system thinking you don't know what you're talking about. Bro, okay, bro. You're spamming my chat with the, like, bro, can we not do that? Like, bro, I don't want to see that here. I'm going to delete that, bro. Because we're not about to do that. That's what we not finna do. Here. Bro, can we not do? Now that's at 240. We're going to trail stop loss right here. I'll keep letting it build. I'll watch Top Step. Okay. But yeah, that's why Jesus is in my thumbnail. Because he's the one keeping me grounded. It's like, look, there was a point where we were down how much? We were down, I think, 350. And I didn't lose confidence. I didn't lose trust. And I realized that's where you grow, bro. It's like now I'm securing profits because I'm trusting my process. But I'm not rushing and being like, dang, I gotta get out. I know this is where it's trying to go to. So that's what I'm trusting. Like, realize that anything you do, you have to have faith. It takes faith to believe you're gonna fail. It takes faith to believe, like, all these things. And I realize, bro, this is where your character is built. Trading not only is psychological, but it takes you doing market analysis. What am I seeing in the market? What am I seeing the market do? Okay, how is this working? What I realize right here, this is where buyers must be. But look, this is why I'm staying in. Because what is it showing me on these higher time frames? It shows me it's still going up. And what are we looking for it to do? Like, just the market, bro, I realize it's market analysis, bro. It is literally market analysis. What am I looking for it to do? Higher, low, lower, high. Okay, boom, pulls down. So now what happened? It went up and it bounced off this low, and now it's trying to form this high. So I know it's at least going to try and test this value. That's why my price is up there. Realize that. Like, it's not a coincidence I have it there. You know what I'm saying? Drop down 1 hour. What is it doing? It's still showing me that same move. So pullback does not mean like, dang, I got to get out. Like, bro, don't get in the habit of that. Like, trust your trades, bro. If you believe that this is gonna work, let it work, bro. Don't. And that's something I was once again like telling y'all is God help me with my unbelief. This is the correction. Now I'm putting my stop loss Now, look where I trail my stop loss. I trail my stop loss at this wick because if it breaks this wick, what does that mean? It's on a downtrend to that side because it's already tested that. So if it's going to go bearish, here, let me show you. Let me get back. If it's going to go bearish, it has to break this wick, right? It can't just break the wick and just do. So now this is trailing my stop loss for a reversal. This consolidation doesn't fear me because what I realize is if it's going to go down, it has to break this level. But if it's going to keep going up, what is it going to do? It's going to keep fighting here and to keep climbing. So I'm trusting my stop loss, where my stop loss is. And I'm targeting, look where I'm targeting. I'm targeting this high. Because why am I targeting this high? Because this is where it's been at before. Mind you, this is why we do not change our entry. This is not why we do not panic. We do not fear. We trust in God. There's a reason I have Jesus in the thumbnail. It's not because I want clicks and views off Jesus. It's like, no, truly, He is my foundation. He is the reason why I'm confident in my trading ability. Because there was a point where I was worrying, like, literally, I had so much fear and anxiety. Like, Lord, do I even know what I'm doing? Even this morning, when I lost, it was like initially being like, dang, God, like, well, how'd I lose? Boom, boom, boom. But look, even though it reversed, boom. Now I just made 300 in profit. Cool. What does this show me? Okay, I got stop lost out. Does this make me fearful? No, it shows me, okay, this is still going. Because what did this just show me? Here, let me move this box back. This is still on an uptrend. So you know what I'm about to do? Jump right back in. Because what is it still showing me on these higher time frames? It's still on an uptrend. So it's realizing, okay, that was just it testing. So it stop lost me out. Jump right back in, bro. Have confidence. So we're going to target this high right here. And we're going to jump in. Put the stop loss. We want to put it at the bottom of this wick. Buy. We back in. Have faith in your strat. Yo, what up, Trey? So right now, we just letting it cook. Like, bro, literally, it's so important to just have faith. We see that was the pullback trying to test. Wait for it. Okay, boom. It's pulling back because the market is trying to test this. But you got to realize is that as long as we don't break under this wick, we're now on a downtrend. So when it wicks here, it's like, okay, I'm testing it, boom. But stay with your guns. Like, I'm not tripping if it pulls back here. Let me move this. I drew this out so y'all can see it, kind of thing here. Let me delete that. I'm not tripping because this wick shows me I already tested there. The body's still up here. So what does that show me? It's still trying to go on an uptrend. Realize the market never just goes straight up. It will pull back. As we see, it pulls back, then goes up. So right now, I'm not tripping that is negative. I'm just trusting my analysis that, okay, it still has not broke under this stop loss. I mean, under this value, it's still on an uptrend. So wait on it. We good. And if it does, oh well. You know what I'm saying? But that's where you gotta have your confidence, and your confidence can't just be like, boom. Like if it stop losses me out, it stop losses me out. But that's where something I was asking the Lord to help me with is just help me with my trusting my setups, Lord. Like I know if it breaks under this wick, okay, it's bullish. But if it doesn't, boom. So that's all we doing. We just waiting. We letting it cook, But this shows me there is some buyers here. But notice how much is getting fought down. This is why I really think it's on the uptrend too. Notice how much resistance is getting to the upside. But, you know. When you start seeing resistance like this, you're like, okay, boom. Like, it's getting fought here for a reason. At this level is strong resistance. Let's see, what is it doing on the 1 hour? Here, I don't want to get stop loss there. Ugh. I try to move my stop loss down so it didn't stop loss me out. Fuck. Bro, that's the only annoying thing too. Sometimes now we're down money. Yeah, now we're down, bro. We're down because it just stop lost us out on a retest. Fudge, bro. But That's why I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't like focusing on, oh bro, it went down. Like, at the end of the day, something I'm learning, I've been asking God to show me, is just trusting my stop losses with everything. So it's like, yeah, I got stop lost out here, but it's still an uptrend. Like, but let's do the analysis, see what it's really doing. Because now from that breaking, I know this is a strong resistance. So it's like, even when you lose, you still learn information. I know right here is a strong level where sellers are sitting at. So sellers sitting here, pushing price down. So we gain information. So is it really a loss in the grand scheme of things? No. And that's what I realized, like, bro, you can always like focus on the losses and be like, dang, bro, like I didn't learn nothing. Bro, I just learned a lot, because what did it show me? Okay, this, let's draw the trend for 4 hours. Because it's still, let's see, it went down, tested this low, came up, then it pulled all the way down. Let's even say pulled down, we'll say it pulled down to here, and then it went up, then it went down. So this is the lowest point it's going. So once we break out of this zone, I know it's going here. So even though I lost that trade and I got stop lost out, I'm once again not tripping, because at the end of the day, you can't focus on the money with trading like too much. Like, if you do, you're never gonna be like, dang, you're gonna be fearful to jump into everything, because you're gonna be like, what if I lose money? What if bro, it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes, bro. That knowledge you gain, bro, is powerful though. Like, here, I seen that this was on a 4 hour. This is still 4 hour time frame. Let me mark this on the 4 hour. What up, Trey though? We learning. So now we're not worried about this line. Now we want to see a breakout here. If we see a breakout here, we know we can get in an uptrend. We can get a long position from here and ride it to, really we could ride it like all the way up to this, where was it? We could ride it to, this was the highest value up here. Yeah. But just watch. If it's continuing this uptrend, up, down, up, down. Yeah, let me do this. Let me draw that line a little better. Okay. Let's see. Up, down, lower high, lower low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. It's like right now the market is, it's kind of cooked. And this is what I think is interesting too, because this today I made 540, I lost, and now I'm down 800 because I just got stop loss there. But it's crazy because I rode here. I'll show y'all. I rode this. So what this shows me is that, okay, I like sometimes dropping down to see. We see this is still a strong buyer zone. I mean a sell zone, where it enters in here and the sellers are pushing it here. Don't show that. Sellers are pushing it down. Sellers are pushing it down. So what that shows me is that, okay, mind you, going up on this trend, I made 500. Now, I'm down, buddy, right now. But at the end of the day, like I said, we don't focus on the money. We focus on the process, bro. And I realize, like, that process is going to sustain you. What is the market doing? How is it showing me? How am I growing? So don't let money determine like if you think you're doing good in the market, if you think you know what you're doing or not. Like at the end of the day, people can make money just guessing. You can make money off the market just guessing. But if something that I ask God to help me with is just trusting my entries, and it's like I made 500 today, trusting my entry. It's like now I done lost, some money. Like I just lost it. But at the end of the day, I'm just trusting my stop losses. As far as I got stop lossed out, cool. It's like probably should have just stopped, when I was up there, but you live and you learn. If I never would have lost there, I would have never knew. Okay, down. Dang. Oh, dang. I'm trying to work on cursing. I could have been like, dang. I didn't know, but look. Up here, I rode it to the upside. This was my first trade, right? This is where I won money. I think I rode these two candles. My prediction, huge loss for this guy today. My prediction, huge loss for this guy today. If you're talking about me, yeah, hey, cool. I don't do opposite of what he does. Cool, bro. You want a cookie? Alright, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When people like this, like, for you to be that bored that you just come in here and hate on somebody, it shows your insecurities, bro. Like, I really don't care what you have to say. I'm gonna be honest. Do opposite of what you have to say. You know what you do, bro? Do the opposite of getting out my chat. Gone. Like what? Like what? He thought he was gonna come in here and ruin the vibes. Don't care. And this is what I'm saying, bro. People are gonna have something to say about you no matter what you do, bro. I'm literally trading and just showing y'all my live process. I show my wins, I show my losses. This same stream, I've won 500 in one trade, but I also just lost 800 in one trade because I trusted my stop loss and it reversed. And sometimes that's gonna happen, and that's what I'm saying. Like on my platform, I'm not trying to just show all the wins and no, bro. Even if you're trading with Jesus, it's gonna be some ups and downs. And what I prayed today for is just guidance and trusting my stop losses. As far as not trying to move my stop losses every time just because I see money jump up. Not trying to move my stop losses just because I see the market going down. It's like, bro, if you get stop lossed out, cool, take that. You know what I'm saying? Because the same way you can lose 800 in one trade, you can make 1500. You can make 3 bands. Like you can make a lot of money. And it's like, bro, people are gonna hate. Like dude came in here talking about that I can predict this dude's gonna lose. Yesterday I made 1,000. Today I lost 800. Well, it happens. It happens. But is that gonna change my confidence? No. And it's like, bro, with strategy I trade price action. So that's why I'm waiting to see what the market is doing. So in this minute we'll see for the hour, but I trade price action. So what I look at is the market structure. So market structure and price action. So I know that for it to be on an uptrend, it has to keep making higher highs and higher lows. Right here you see now we make another higher high, right? I mean another higher low, and then we have like this consolidation where it really doesn't do much, but you can still see it still makes a lower high, and then it's like a little higher low, right? Then we push up here, then we have like a little pullback, build up here. So what is this? A higher high though, and now we have this, which I'm assuming is probably gonna close right here. So this is showing me, notice it was a low, it was still a higher low though. This is still a higher low. This is a lower value, but it's still higher than this. So it still shows me, what is this? A higher high. So even though it was a low value, it still is up here. You know what I'm saying? So screw just looking at whether it's a red candle or whatnot. Where did the market move? The price was still higher. So what this shows me is that it can still go on an uptrend, because at the end of the day, at first it was keeping this. Then it had a little phase where it's not. But now look, higher high, higher. You have your high, your low. You had a lower high. Here, let me click on this so you can see it like that. So we had the higher high. Damn, another loser. Yeah, bro. It's so easy to like talk smack when someone's losing, right? Like I ain't gonna lie. This is why I do not care about your opinion, bro. Like at all. It's so funny because if I was up, right? Because you don't even know, like by me drawing this, you don't know what I'm on. If I didn't tell you I was down money, you wouldn't know I was down money. The same way I'm down money today, I made a ban yesterday. But it's people like you that discourage people, and that's why I will never be like that to someone else. Is discouraging them to, oh, bro, you don't know what you're doing, bro. What does it do to uplift people? But it's so, like, and that's why the trading space is so toxic, bro. Like, it's honestly so horrible, bro. Just how negative people are, and it's like I'm not even gonna delete your comment because this is crazy. Because it's like why hate, bro? Why hate? I'm showing you a live process and telling you what I'm looking for, and you're in this junk just spreading negativity. Like, bro, that projects your own feeling. You're probably not happy in life, bro. I'm also a loser, bro. It's okay. Hey, bro. I support you. I appreciate it. But even if you don't, it doesn't change the process, bro. And that's why I realized, like, bro, don't think just because you lose money in a market that you're a loser. Like, bro, I wouldn't even like take that, bro. I'm still a winner at the end of the day because I stuck to my trade. My thing today wasn't trying to make a crazy amount of money. It's sticking to it. Because if this breaks out the zone, I'm still taking. I'm gonna take, like I said, I'm gonna take my profit and I'm gonna ride it to the upside here. I mean, here. I'm about to set an alert on my phone because this breaks this. I'm riding it to the high that it was before, which was here. This is gonna be my first TB. This is gonna be my second one. Because once it breaks out, notice the build up, bro. It doesn't just show you this for no reason. It's showing you it's trying to build up to fill this. Now we have our higher low. As you see, this was the low. It made a higher low. So this shows me it's still trying on an uptrend. So this is gonna break this. So when it breaks this box, my first line I'm looking for, I'm gonna take the opposite trade. Cool. I don't care. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, the amount of people you say you support me, oh, I'm gonna take the opposite trade, boom, 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 I'm gonna do this. Don't care, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like, how you doing? Motivate yourself. I'm about to turn off stream just because I'm about to go to work, but y'all have a blessed day. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people that are in your chat just like make you feel discouraged. Don't let a loss make you feel discouraged. Why are you not trading in gold? Because that I trade in Q personally, so that's just me. You know what I'm saying? If you trade gold, all power to you. I don't trade gold, so that's why I'm not trading gold. I love y'all, but Jesus loves you more. And I pray that if you have your losses, realize that instead of calling it a loss, take it as a lesson. This lot taught me a lesson. I made 500, but I lost 800 in the trade because it went the opposite way. But now it's building back up, so if it breaks this line, I'm going to give it back and I'm going to make the money back. So really stay optimistic. Keep Jesus first. Don't let loss or win make you determine your skills from that. God bless you, and I pray